You have to be good. Got to rely on being a little lucky at the same time, too. Aubrey Lenz with a chance to end it. Near side, Keller. Received well by Johnson. Lenz, Murphy. Harper there. Back to Keller, near side. Whitley, able to get it. Johnson, Harper. It won't hit the ground. Keller, nice and easy the other way, but it's too strong. Too much loft. And Cornerstone's just delivered AQ their first set loss. September the 14th. Times before, Audrey Gill staying put on that service line. Fires one just over the net where Whitley is able to get to it. Up high, Johnson taps it over, but it's Gill who fires it back into the hands of Johnson. Lenz, Murphy has it sent back.
Their
Beach now.
Their blocks are just powerful, and
Beach now brought the boom. It's a Cornerstone University, a place that is a special place in my heart. So many good memories looking back at my time here at Cornerstone, and a lot of them had to do with this matchup in particular. Another edition of the Beltline Brawl here on the Cornerstone Sports Network. Nate Wangler alongside Jackson Hyden. Great job covering this team so far this year, but it's really games like these, Jackson, as we look at these two in Cornerstone and Aquinas. It's these types of matchups that really make college athletics special, and it doesn't really matter on what level it is. Rivalry games like this one, especially when you talk about two schools that are in such close proximity, it just adds to how intense that rivalry is. I mean, you think about Duke and North Carolina, just another example along those lines, but so close, just separated by 2.5 miles, these two schools, and they get ready to battle here tonight. But it always feels like a little bit extra when you talk about playing the other side, no matter what side of this rivalry you're on.
Yeah, Nate, I mean, I didn't go to college here, of course, but this has been one rivalry that I've grown to love here in West Michigan. And, you know, this has been a rivalry where Cornerstone has been primarily dominant. They have the lead, 45 wins to 31 losses, but Aquinas, as of late, has the upper hand with 4 straight wins against Cornerstone. Cornerstone, out of those 4 matches, only 2 set wins. So tonight, a chance to give or hand Aquinas their first set loss in what has felt like months, and it quite literally has been months.
Well, and the thing that makes this particular matchup so exciting oftentimes is the story within the story. We have to start off with the head coach of this Aquinas team in Ryan Campbell. Spent 13 seasons here at Cornerstone. By the way, is still the winningest head coach in the history of this program. And when we go back to 2019, really shocked the local NAIA world, if you will, when he decided to part ways and go coach, not in a land far, far away, 2.5 miles down the road at Aquinas College. And I remember there being certain feelings around the program. This isn't Michigan OSU by any stretch, but there were still certain feelings of, I wouldn't say betrayal nearly as much as, wow, that was kind of a shock to the system. And so that added a new level of excitement to that matchup in 2019. Both of them split, and then as you talked about, Jackson, Cornerstone really took over from there. They won the next 7 matchups consecutively through 2022, and then Ryan Campbell figured something out, sweeping Cornerstone 3 straight matches last year, sweeping them in their first matchup this year. Oh, and by the way, in that stretch, Cornerstone's only won 2 sets against this Aquinas team. And now we talk about this season, AQ really has their sights set on something a lot bigger, maybe going out and winning a national championship. So there are stories on top of stories on top of stories in this game, but it just highlights how much bigger this game is than just another one, really, on both sides. If you're Aquinas, you want to keep dominating the other side with their former coach, and for Cornerstone, you're still thinking about getting your get back even this many years later.
I think the biggest thing between these two programs is how they accumulate these players and how they grow these players. I've always felt that Cornerstone grows their players. There's a story, there's a tradition here. There is a culture here. Aquinas, not saying that there isn't there, but they have dipped their toe into this new era of the transfer portal, which will be a common conversation that we have for the rest of time, in any sport. There are 6 transfers on this Aquinas team, all who start, 3 of them from Division I programs. Lydia Harper, in her second year with Aquinas, is just an absolute beast on the court for Aquinas. And, it has really helped fuel this, this rivalry, because Cornerstone, they don't pull a ton of transfers. You might have 1 or 2 here and there, but for Cornerstone, it's all about developing them from a young age. And we're going to see tonight, we're going to see that freshman standout, Aubrey Johnson. She leads the WAC in a bunch of different categories as a freshman, and she is going to be going against some former teammates on the other side too. So it's going to be a fun 2 different battles. Last time these 2 teams faced each other, it was a tight, closely contested battle, something Aquinas hasn't had to deal with very much this year.
Well, the other thing is, when you look at that transfer portal, yes, is dipping into that, is finding talent elsewhere. But keep in mind, I think it comes back to the connections he's made in this area. Mallory Keller, Bella Holmes, the other 2 from Division I institutions, Indiana State, Eastern Michigan, respectively, but they're all from around this area. Jenison, Grand Rapids, Caledonia, they're all from around this area, so they know Coach Ryan Campbell, so a lot of familiarity there, being able to bring them back to Aquinas again, make a potential run towards a national championship. AQ 32-1 on the season. Their only loss coming to Indiana Wesleyan, the number 1 team in the country, mind you. That was a 5-set thriller as they nearly came into this one undefeated, but fell short in that one. Cornerstone on the other side, 17-9, right now 5th in Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference play. Well, there's a look at our matchup here today. There's really no more talking that has to be had. Cornerstone looking to get their get back after being swept earlier this season, and Aquinas looking to continue rolling and maybe sustain that dominance they've had from last year coming into this year in this matchup and beyond. That's all coming up next. We got lineups, national anthem, then it's the Beltline Brawl. Nate Wangler, Jackson Hyden right here on the Cornerstone Sports Network.